Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Welcome to the Hubski podcast on spirituality and religion. What is the difference, if any, between the two? There's a lot of people that will tell you that their brand is the brand. But we're going to turn that off today and just have a pleasant conversation about what we think the differences between the two are and how they've played out in our lives. Feel free to join the conversation in the comments.
So the subject at hand is spirituality versus religion. I'm not entirely sure that's the appropriate discussion to have. It's more spirituality versus faith.
That's Klein Blue.
Faith is someone's capacity to believe in the unprovable, whereas spirituality is the need to believe in the unprovable. And I think a lot of people conflate the two. I don't think they necessarily even intersect.
Religion seems to depend on a faith.
That's Lil.
In something other than one's immediate experience and community. Religion is a system of explanation for things we don't understand. Religion usually creates systems of ethics that regulate and justify and explain human behaviors.
One's capacity to believe in the unproven allows you to believe in what the church tells you. It allows you to believe in an afterlife. It allows you to believe that everything's going to work out in the end and that karma will rain down retribution on those who have wronged you.
And religion often involves a supreme being who understands the things we don't understand.
Here's Cadell Last of theadvancedtapes.com.
From the anthropological, paleontological, and primatological data, I think we can start to piece together an origin for the symbol of God. What we see is a simple fact that all human cultures have a belief system involving God in some way. This God concept typically revolves around an infinite consciousness of some kind, a type of universal mind. We also see that our closest relatives have no such concept, and in fact, they don't have any conceptual framework for describing the world at all. Consequently, they have a poor grasp of death and do not seem to have a theory of their own mind, let alone a theory of other minds.
I've kind of struggled with my Catholic upbringing.
That's Humanodon.
Well, to put it into context, my parents made me go to Sunday school from the time I was a little kid all the way through to just before I graduated high school. And in all that time, the ladies conducting the Sunday school classes referred to me as Doubting Thomas. It wasn't that I was denying that spirituality exists or that forces outside of the human scope can exist, or that there are mysterious things in the universe, but I was really questioning how they were so sure that this book, the Bible, and the whole Catholic thing had it right.
Many of us are introduced to religion at a young age, only to find spirituality later in life. I asked Rob05C if he thought we had an innate need for spirituality.
I do. I think spirituality is a part of the human experience. I think it defines us and it shapes who we are and what we do and how we live. And even if you're not a theist, even if you're an atheist or a humanist or a materialist, I hear people like Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about how we're made from stardust. And Carl Sagan talks about how we are the universe experiencing itself. And in those words, I hear something that is very similar, very akin to spirituality. And I think this defines us, and I think it binds us all together as humans.
I don't know what's innate. I don't know what needs people are born with. But I do think many people tend to experience feelings of oneness with other people, like large groups of people at a rock concert, or feelings of oneness with extreme nature, watching sunsets or hiking. And those experiences feel very much like spirituality. Consequently, we seek them out.
I don't really think that you can escape the parallels between the stories of people that have, touched the divine and the experience of touching that creative something. The kind of experience where it really feels like you're just channeling something.
According to Wikipedia, yes, Wikipedia, spirituality may refer to any kind of meaningful activity or blissful experience without a single widely agreed definition, whereas religion is an organized collection of beliefs.
My utter incapacity to believe in the unprovable is a detriment to my life in many ways. I've seen religion be quite a comfort to many of my friends. The fundamental belief that it's all going to work out in the end really helps a lot of people through a lot of tough times. And there have been many times in my life where I really wish I could believe, and I just can't. And perhaps that's a reflection of my spirituality. I would like there to be a big yellow sky god who makes everything better, but I can't. Somewhere in between those two questions is just about every human conflict that ever existed.
Boy, I get a lot of echo.
You can take off. You don't even have to have them on.
There.
That's Hootsbox. Just take
There.
them off. Let's have a conversation.
It's okay.
I asked Hootsbox for his definition of faith.
As it says in Hebrews, faith is the evidence of things hoped for, right?
Hootsbox is a born-again Christian.
But let's just say I believe that man is tricentric. There's a spirit, a soul, which you can't observe. I can observe your earth suit, right? But there's the mind, will, and emotions. I can see the evidence of it coming out, but I can't see it. Then you have the body, the five senses. So there's three different levels to man. Personally, I believe one of those levels, which was the spirit side as far as its communication with God, it died in the sense of being able to hear clearly the voice of God until, in my vernacular, they get wakened up and regenerated by Christ. Then that awakens.
Here's Steve.
For me, as a believer, I would say that spirituality is this inherent connection that we have left from God, this connection to God that we're all aware of on some level, some internal level, that we have this connection. It's a longing, it's a seeking for something that I don't know about the rest of you, but I've not seen the face of God. I've not touched the hand of God. I don't know exactly what He looks like. Some may bristle at my genderizing of God, but that's I think the next phase of this. A part of religion, or even part of spirituality, is believing. And for me, religion, though historically has done such tremendous evil, I think it also has done a fair amount of good. And for me, religion and the belief that I have in God, or a God, it's so deeply personal. And that I think where religion gets it right is to provide for me a construct around which I can wrap my relationship with deity. But where religion goes wrong is where I take my connection to deity and try and force it on anyone else.
Many of us have a desire to pursue spirituality, and it seems that religion can, in an ideal setting, give a framework for that spirituality.
It's been said that your rights end where my nose begins. I think religion is much the same way, that my right to believe in whatever I want to believe in, the banana nut ice cream sun god may be my choice of deity. And I have every right to believe in that.
I don't think it is an innate thing. I don't think we have an innate need for faith. I think that it certainly helps. Put it this way. I think we have an innate capacity for doubt. And I think some people have more ability to channel that doubt and to fight that doubt than others. And I think the ability to overcome that doubt in one direction or another is the basis for faith and spirituality.
I once took a year-long Bible study class just to see what it was all about. And at the end of it, in a conversation with the pastor, I mentioned that I thought that there were many paths to God or enlightenment or whatever you call it. The pastor paused, looked at me and said, "Steve, I think you're right. The key to life is to choose one. Whatever path you choose, or if you're still looking or not looking at all, I wish you all the best. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Here's MK.
I don't believe that we have an innate need for spirituality. However, I feel that that spiritual feeling is something that we simply cannot escape. And that's not to say that there's some otherworldly influence upon us. Actually, I think that spiritual feeling that we all have is something that describes the very nature of our condition.
I want to thank Climb Blue, Lil, Cadell Last of the Advanced Apes, Humanodon, Rob05C, Hootsbox, Steve, and MK for participating. If any of you have any topics for future podcasts, feel free to shout out. Look forward to the discussions in the comment section. Take care.
Yes, and Lord, help me home. I'm gonna buy me a poor man's trouble. Yes, and Lord.